over me, and before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping, no more weeping, no more weeping over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
In 1998, I was brought to Hope, Arkansas to do an artist in education residency at Burl Henry Elementary School. An artist in education is an artist who goes into a school and shares their professional artwork with students and teachers. Dr. Carlos Price had asked me to come and do a playwriting residency because he felt the students needed to enhance their writing skills. Mrs. Flemons was very gracious in allowing me to come into her room and share my artwork, playwriting, with her students for 3 hours a day. We began working with one word. That word was hope. They had been studying the Plantation Days in Arkansas for part of their Arkansas history studies. And we decided that we would write our play about Black history. And we were in Black History Month because I came in February. So Mrs. Flemons asked only one thing, that the main character's name be Hope. And I thought that was a good idea because they lived in hope, because we all believed in hope, and because in 1844 in Arkansas, about all the slaves had was hope.
Slaves for sale! Slaves for sale!
Mama, why are you doing this to me? I don't deserve this. I always knew you loved Elizabeth and not me, but you've been acting strange ever since Papa died. I don't know what to think, and now you're telling me I'm not yours. If I'm not, why haven't I been told that before?
I'm ashamed to be a part of this. I never thought you'd go this far. Your husband not even in his grave.
Ashamed? You're ashamed? How do you think I feel? You want to know who your mother was? She was our slave.
Be a good choice. This cow's really worth $500, but I'm setting with the price to sell her set. She's got a strong back. She'll only increase in value.
The play, Oh Freedom, which Mrs. Flemons and her students and I wrote, is about Hope and Elizabeth. It is on the day of their father's death that Hope and Elizabeth both learn from Miss Harriet that Hope is not her daughter, that her mother was a slave woman. Later, Miss Harriet reveals that she intends to sell Hope into slavery. Elizabeth and Annie, the old slave, plot with a freedman named Rufus to free Hope from the market after she has been sold to a very duplicitous man from New Orleans. They take Hope to a hidden slave community outside Little Rock in the hills. Hope stays there with the hidden slaves until Elizabeth and Annie return with a man from the Underground Railroad. They urge her to go north with him to Canada and to her freedom.
2 years ago, my students at Burl Henry Elementary School here in Hope, Arkansas, wrote a play called Oh Freedom. This year, which is the year 1999-2000, they're now making a story quilt. Now, during the time we wrote the play, my class, which is a social studies class and a language arts class, we were studying the southern colonies, and we had mentioned plantation life and slavery. So we decided when Refa Buckman, our arts and education, came to our class to work with our children on the writing process, we decided to write a play. And we brainstormed different ideas. At first, she explained the different parts, components of playwriting.
This wasn't just write something down and as long as we can get through with it, we actually put feeling into it.
That slave to be so proud he done ran for master. Then that master say, well, boy, your read's good, but I just think you just can write too good. Well, that slave take out that pencil he got here in his pocket and start writing out white. What he didn't see was that master take out his old bowie knife. Then that master then said something terrible. He said, well, son, that reading and writing you've been doing is against the law. He said, then he took down that bowie knife and chopped that man's head holding that pencil right off. He said, this be the punishment for breaking the law and say slave no can read and write.
Act 1 was first period, Act 2 was created by second period, and Act 3 by third period. And as we started getting our ideas together, we began the dialogue. The students were assigned homework tasks of trying to create dialogue for the next day. And when they came to class, Refa would get them started and remind them what they had done the previous day. And they'd go to the chalkboard, and Refa would write down the ideas that they shared. As she wrote on the board, I'd write from my desk, I'd write down things from the board, so we'd have 2 copies of what was being shared by the students. And both Refa and I went to the library and also to reference material, and we researched the history of Little Rock, slavery, spirituals, and also abolitionist songs.
Good. Forget you ever saw that freedom paper. And there are not girls for you to feel so fatherly for. There's one girl, Elizabeth, and there's one slave whom I wish to sell.
I first got involved in O Freedom while Refa was working with the students during her residency here in Hope. And she was explaining the exciting material that they were coming up with for the script. And I was very interested in the project because I'm always interested in theater art that helps people learn how to get along with one another. I strongly believe that the arts are an invaluable tool for peacemaking and for helping make the world a better place to be, for helping us to learn about each other and how to get along with one another.
Well, there has to be something we can do. I could run away, but where would you go?
I don't know. Surely I can find a place. Maybe another town.
But they're so far away. And even in a buggy, it would take days. And we don't have a buggy.
I could walk.
They'd find you if you were on the road, and it's too dangerous out there. They're slave hunters, robbers, murderers, and who knows what kind of wild animals be on town. Those woods are so deep. You know, even Papa traveled with the gun.
And each day they would go to the backboard and the front board. I had 2 boards in my class. And as Refa talked to the children, they would follow her. They would literally get out of their seats and go from one side of the class to the other. And you could watch the sparkle in their eyes as they followed her along. They didn't want to miss anything. And they were anxious to share the whole time that we worked on the play. They moved back and forth throughout the class periods, trying to follow along so they could add their part to the next scene or the next character who was speaking. And our play was very extraordinary because our play lasted for about a 4-week period as far as the playwriting time. And we didn't get through until the last second of the last day that Refa was with us. And that was very impressive.
And I want you to always remember the story of how you got your name. Because you're carrying the dream of all them slaves when you be following that drinking gourd in the sky of freedom. It's all we got. No land, no language, no right to our ancestors' ways. All we got is hope.
I also had one Hispanic child who was a non-speaking child. She could speak English, but she was not comfortable speaking English in front of the other students, and she's reluctant to do so in class. And I saw that child create a story and then share it with the classmates. That was very impressive to me, that this ESL student had, they gave her the courage to get up and share her story. And the students applauded her efforts. That was the first time she had spoken English in the classroom.
First, I'd just like to say that we're real proud to be a part of this great experience in playwriting. We were fortunate that year to have Reefa Buckman as our artist in residence. She was fantastic. She really motivated the entire school, not just the classes that she was working with, but she motivated the entire school in that the children saw writing as it was related to story writing, and also they integrated art and writing skills together. They were so excited at the end of the product to know that they had actually written a story and that it could actually be put to play. So we were really grateful for this experience. We just wish that it could happen every year. And we were really grateful for Mrs. Buckman, who just really fit in, and she was just part of our family there on campus. We have children now. This is 1999-2000 school year, and of course this happened in 97, 98. My children are now saying, Miss Piggy, why can't we write plays? You know, you've already had one group. I think now they see the publicity and the advertisement, and they're so excited and they want to write. And I think that in the future we're going to have many great playwriters.
After we finished writing the play, we knew that we had something really special. The school provided 150 copies of the playbook. We gave each of the 78 playwrights, Mrs. Flemons, myself, all the school board members a copy, and a classroom set was left in the Burl Henry Library. We had a special day with the students where we presented their scripts to them. Mike Malik, who was the executive director of Southwest Arkansas Arts Council at that time, was there for that day, as was Dr. Carlos Price and Mrs. Flemons and myself. So we had a regular signing party, and it was lots of fun. Later, we went into the community with the script and had a read-through at the Pruden Center for the Arts. Accolades came from everywhere, including some very surprising sources.
Reefa knew that she had something special with this script, but the read-through at the Pruden Center was the first real test. The fact that more people showed up than we were expecting was the first good sign. The next day, one of our Arts Council board members, Betty Jo Hayes, took a copy of the script to Little Rock, to the Arkansas Arts Council. She was so excited about it. But the most compelling thing about the read-through was that among the group, there were several adults reading and crying.
Involving young people in the creative process is probably the most important thing of all, much more than the product. The process of creating something new and special and original is probably the most important thing that can happen in residency work and with young people, to understand that everyone has a creative spark within them and they can really express it in a variety of ways that are very fulfilling as well as acceptable in the community, but a very, very fulfilling and exciting thing to be a part of.
During the playwriting process, the students, Mrs. Flemons and I, had researched story quilts as part of the slave tradition in the Americas. Not many of them had survived, but we created one for the play. And I always saw it as a pivotal point of the play, when Hope is told by old Annie about her African heritage and learns what it was like for her great-grandmother and her grandmother and her mother. So I knew that before the play could go into production, we had to create the story quilt to be a part of the play. We did this through a residency at Yerger Middle School, going into the classes of Candy Eason and Gwendolyn Brooks. We worked with 210 students. 78 of the original playwrights were in that class. They had been 5th graders when we wrote the play. They were 7th graders when we made the quilt. As many talents as I know I have as an artist, working in fabric is not one of them, but I knew an artist that I could count on. I called, asked her if she would join me for the residency. This was my sister Del Glenn from Eureka, Missouri. It had been 20 years since we had worked on a quilt together. So when she arrived in Hope, she brought mountains of fabric, designs, books, all kinds of research. and all kinds of trinkets for us to add to the quilt.
See this first one here? This be Quali, your great-grandmother. First one brought here from the family.
What's that skin?
Don't know for sure, child. Still about some wild animals they got there in Africa. It be sort of like a horse, only striped like this, and only black and white.
We're working on the quilt block that's going to be the plantation.
All right, y'all, don't play.
Let's show her how the plantation is going to look when the quilt block. You want to put the roof on for me? Because we're going to process the roof. This is going to be the plantation. And we're going to have some trim. First, we're working on the background, the tree. Working on the trunk of the tree, and then we have the top of the tree right here. We're going to put on, and then hand stitch around it.
And this one here, this be her rite of passage. See all them women? They be celebrating Quali now woman. Oh, make a big thing of that there in her tribe. Dancing and drumming. Oh, she say it must be something to see.
I've never been to a celebration like that.
My child, you're not allowed to do that here. All the old ways be illegal for slaves, just like we can't hold meetings.
What about this one?
Most importantly, it develops camaraderie. Kids, I understand there's not only are they working here at Yerger, there are also high school kids will be taking part in this from the Arts Council to the Hope Ag-Rite Department. Number two, I think a lot of these kids learn about talents that they didn't know they had. Maybe they've been suppressed. Maybe they just didn't know what all their talents were, and plus they would utilize those that they had recognized. And like I say, I think most important, it's a learning tool. Kids have a lot of distractions today, and to bring something that focuses their attention on one project that really has mushroomed, because it's not only a project with the school, there's several segments of the community involved. And hopefully they'll learn from it. We'll help them focus their activities, focus their attention to other parts of their study and academic life.
That be the chief, your great-grandpappy. He be killed when the slavers come.
Why?
Don't know for sure, child. I suppose he be fighting to save his village.
Is that a good trick? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I like those sparkly beads. Those are nice choice.
Could we pin them on our paper and write eyes? Can you somehow, or even just stitch it on the stitch so we know what we're doing? And then we can.
I'll make you some more drums.
Okay.
Or you can come and make the drums.
One of you can make the drums. I got the needle. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and stick this. See the pieces coming out? This girl goes in the front, and we need to make her dress now.
Can you believe it? It show him in this next one here. Where people be taking and the slavers come. And the ones that died there on the ground, they didn't just go on them ships just singing and smiling. It was a horrible thing.
It has a very positive impact, particularly on my daughter, since she helped to write the book, the play, and she was in 5th grade, and also my nephew. And my daughter came home every day talking about what they did on the quilt, and she has really enjoyed it. And I think that it's been a positive aspect on her as well as all the other children, because we see them, society emphasizing the negative things that children do, and this was something that was very worthwhile, something that they actually did with their hands. And my daughter did an embroidery right here, and she was very proud of it. She would come home every day talking about what they did on the quilt.
This is the slave ship?
Yes, it be.
What's happening? Why is this person out the boat?
That be Quali's sister. She done jump overboard. Say she gonna swim back to Africa.
Did she?
No, it be way too far. It be far, far away. And they be dying all around her. And she couldn't stand no more. Wanted to go back so bad. Many did. Many died. Now some were thrown overboard alive, but she jumped.
Why have I never heard any of this?
Why, child, you've been raised white. They want me his studs. And Master John, he want to protect you and Miss Elizabeth. Didn't want either of you to know how it really be. Said it'd be too ugly.
But he had slaves.
Sure enough, 'tis a puzzlement.
We still need a full needle. What we do is we take a rectangle, we take two, and we've drawn around them with our template. See, this is our pattern that we're going to sew on, and we leave our seam to go along the edge. So that's where I'm going to sew. See how I've been sewing on along my seam. So I put the right sides of my fabric together like this. Because I want these to match, and they're not all cut the same. It's the same size rectangle. So then I push that through, and I've got my corner matched. Then I take another pin and I go to my center of my line, and I do the same thing. I move this so my pin is going to come out right in the center of my line. See? So that's how I form my strip quilt. See, I did two first steps. So now I'm working on putting on my fourth one. So each one, we do 6 in a row, and that will be a piece of the strip quilt.
Jeffrey's working on the flag that's going to be flying from the flagpole. Let's show her where the flag's going to go when it's done. It's going to be up here. She's going to put a flagpole on, and it'll be flying. That's the Arkansas State flag. Anyway, our interpretation of it. We have the bright colors.
What about this one?
Oh, that be the plantation ways down south, where your mammy be raised till she almost grown. About Lisa's age, I expect. She said it has so many slaves, couldn't name them all. And that big house there in that picture, we've never seen the likes of. So big, could get lost in one of them rooms. But the massa, he a meaner.
I think that it promotes individuality, that it also makes them connect with our state and what each part of history means to them. And that's what I get out of it. And I hope that they, when they pick or when they are part and they associate themselves with the part that they add to the quilt, then that's a part of them. And once they believe in how they see the world and how they see our state.
It's showing here in this next picture where he done beat your grandmammy to death. Cause that old massa, he done told your grandmammy that he's gonna sell your mammy at auction. And she tried to get away before he did it. Took your mammy with her. But they ran, but he caught her. And when he find her, he be so mad, he just keep on beating her till she died right there in front of your mammy.
So hard to believe people were so cruel.
Oh, this more child.
That was a wonderful time, wasn't it? What was your favorite part of writing the play?
I liked at the end when we read it.
I liked at the end.
Keep going. You're almost there. There you go. I like your grass.
The slave colonies in America, the blacksmith was the one, he replaced the drum with his anvil, and then the women ground the corn in the same rhythm, and that's how they sent messages all over the plantation. Was the rhythms that they tapped out on the anvil. And the rhythms that they tapped out with their dancing. That's how tap dancing came to be born.
How is your bow and arrow going to be placed on here? Like this? Or straight? Okay, he wants it straight. So maybe you could go press that so he can start sewing on that one.
This one here, that be your mama at auction. That be the day that Master John done paid $2,000 for her down there in Orleans.
That must have been a lot of money.
It was. Guess he done thought she'd be worth it. Say she'd be the prettiest thing he ever done see.
And I think this is just great. I think the more we can expose our children to quilting and art and music, the more then they'll have a respect for all of the arts and education and really broaden their quality of life.
And it's both him and that next one, That be the steamboat. He done brought her here to Little Rock on. They was stranded there a goodly while in one of them sandbars in the river. I suppose that's why he fell in love with her.
The superintendent's wife. So we're making good use of it. Go slow. Give it a little gas. A little gas more. And slow down. Slow down. So by hand, okay? That way your heart will be outlined just like the other two. First of all, you can
I got it.
I'm standing up.
Good.
Anyway.
I got it.
We got a curl needle.
Does anyone have a curl needle? Supply person, can you help us find a curl needle? Hey, one of the big people. That's the big blunt needle with the great big hole. This way, with the two women.
Child, that be a friendship block for me and her. We sure did take to each other. She like the daughter I never had.
Now get your head in and turn.
Don't get a whole lot of glue on your fabric. Use it very sparingly. Put it in the glue.
Either. Yes, and the whip.
The hearts?
That be the two hearts that make one. That one be you. Of course, when she began you, she didn't know if you'd be a boy or a girl. Well, that's about all.
You boys who were working on this square? Yeah. Okay, we still need arms. He doesn't have arms or hands. So he needs to have arms or hands put on today. And then as soon as Miss Dell gets it together, we can sew the whip on. So however you're going to attach his hand to the whip, because we want the whip to run over like this, out of the square, okay? It's looking good, you guys, it really is.
That's a bit.
Y'all come on, it's time to go now.
Come on.
And the whole fluffers were there, and they're going to put our quilt together when we're done with it. They're going to put the back on it and stuff.
I put this last square in, but never put nothing on it. She said for the baby birthday, name and all. Then a new quilt has to be started. Maybe she knew it was going to be the end of her story.
Soon I will be done with the trouble of this world. Trouble of this world. Trouble of this world. Soon I will be done with the trouble of this world. I'm going home to live with God. No more weeping and wailing. No more. No more weeping and wailing. No more.
With Dell's inspiration and guidance, we were able to finish the quilt in only 9 days. On the evening of that 9th day, she took all the story quilt blocks, the strip quilt pieces that the students had hand sewn, and their 4x4s which they had made, and sewed them all together. So that on the 10th day, they were ready for an open house for the community. This was the first time that the students had seen the quilt all together, when they came to the reception that day. The reception was held at Yerger Middle School and was hosted by Patricia Muldrew, a teacher at Yerger Middle School. Members of the community came and sewed mementos on the quilt, on the strip quilt pieces.
I'm just amazed. The quilt is wonderful. And it's amazing to me that the students could complete this in 2 weeks. That's really a lot of hard work. And I'm sure many of them have never had anything to do with quilting before or even knew what a story quilt is. But I understand that some of the children who were working on this quilt were those who actually wrote the play. And so they understood the sequence of events that would go into it. But most of the students didn't even know that. And they've had to learn the story as well as how to present that in a story quilt that's not just entirely narrative. It's very creative. And they've used some wonderful elements to illustrate the story. The things I would never think about, seeds and little teardrops of metal and marvelous hair and woven pieces so that the appliques make it so interesting too, as well as the quilted background. I think it's something that the students will be proud of for many, many years to come.
Gonna jump, jump, turn around, pick a better cotton. Gonna jump, jump, turn around, pick a better day. Oh, Lordy, pick a better cotton. Oh, Lordy, pick a better day. Gonna jump down, turn around, pick a better cotton. Gonna jump down, turn around, pick a better day. Oh, Lordy, pick a better cotton. Oh, Lordy, pick a better day. Oh, me and my sister gonna pick a better cotton. Me and my sister gonna pick a better day. Me and my sister gonna pick a better cotton. Me and my sister gonna pick a better day. Oh, Lordy, pick a better cotton. Oh, Lordy, pick a better day. Me and my brother gonna pick a better cotton. Me and my brother gonna pick a better day. Oh, Lordy, pick a better cotton. Oh, Lordy, pick a better day. Pick a better cotton. Pick a better day. Oh, Lordy, pick a better cotton. Oh, Lordy, pick a better day.
Y'all did good. Really good. They haven't seen it all together. Oh, they've just seen the pieces of it, huh? Oh, Bunny, this looks really good. Hey, girl, I'm busy. She's got to concentrate. I'm busy.
I like that one. That was cool.
It's really easy to do.
This project was done through our 7th grade social studies classes. This involved about 210 or so students and 2 teachers and other community people and different personnel. It was a hands-on project that kids really enjoyed. We were thrilled to be able to have the artists come in and work with these students. This was most of them first time seeing a quilt being made, and they actually had the opportunity to cut out pieces and put them together and make a quilt. This artist was done through the Arts Council, and we've been very fortunate working with them and getting good residents in, and we're just glad to be able to share with our students this opportunity. Again, this is a culminating project that all the students participated in. They wrote their names, they cut their pieces and wrote their names on the various pieces, and Mrs. Dale, who was the artist, put them together for them and made this nice board for them as a momentum for the future.
We'll take it and put some binding, batting in it and the backing, and tie it, and then we'll put a binding around the edge of it, and it'll be all ready. And we'll put a sleeve on it so it can be hung on the wall, and that way it'll be displayed in the school.
I think that it brings them all together. It's a part of, there's so much diversity in each one of our generations, And so it brings to the table from each generation a part of what they are. And it also promotes each generation working with the other. So I believe that's important in each of us. For everybody else to grow, everybody has to respect the other one's individuality.
There'd be a man named Rufus. He'd be a free man. He done told me about this hidden slave community where runaways be living and hiding.
Can you get in touch with him?
I might be able to. We got a way of calling a meeting. We sing Still Away to Jesus, and that night, we all meet in the graveyard.
The graveyard?
Yes, sir. All white folks think we scared of him. Don't think to look for us there. But if he be in town, he come. And if he not, he done got the word from the others.
Do it.
Research had been an integral part of the project for the playwrights and the quilters. To assist the cast in this area and as a gift to the community, the Arkansas Arts Council and the Department of Arkansas Heritage helped us bring in a series of 6 lecturers from Ouachita Baptist University. Glenna Summer, professor of economics, spoke on economic conditions in 1884 in Little Rock in western Arkansas. Trey Berry, professor of history, spoke on slave survival. George Keck, professor of music, spoke on slave songs. Tom Greer, professor of humanities, addressed the attendees on children of strangers. Ray Granada, professor of history, talked about the social climate of 1844. And Wendy Richter, university archivist, spoke about the political climate of 1844. In addition, Fulton, Arkansas historian Laverne Scott presented a tremendous exhibit on slavery at the Prudence Center for the Arts.
Rufus, you can't trust white folk.
I'm not white.
What you mean? You should look white to me.
Her father was white, but her mother was our slave.
You's the same?
No, her mama is white.
Why is that?
See, Miss Hope done been sold by dead Paul's missing. I helped Miss Elizabeth help Miss Hope escape.
I be sorry for her. But why you bring her here? It ain't nothing we can do for her.
We can let her stay here.
No, sir. She ain't gonna stay here.
Well, you better think about that, Jay. We let them go and she might tell folks where we be.
And if we let them stay, every slave hunter in the 4 states will be looking for them.
But only Hope will stay.
Where you think you's going?
Oh, not till we says you is.
But she has to. I'm the one that's running away.
Now everyone settle down.
How we know they be telling the truth?
Because Jake, I say so and you know I don't lie.
Well, anyways, nobody's going nowhere tonight. Be most dark.
I have before me some of the dinnerware that students made for the interplay Old Freedom. They're all handmade. Plates are all handmade. Stoneware, we tried to make them as much to the way they would have been made back in 1844. As we began this project for the play, the students had to get in their mind that they were going to be making this the same way that their ancestors were made, by hand, to be used by people other than themselves. First thing they had to do was wedge the clay, get the air out, make it nice and even, otherwise it would blow up in the, when they begin to fire it. This is called wedging. Just keep working the clay. Clay was rolled out to certain thicknesses for the plates. You simply cut in a circle and then shaped by hand. We had a lot of problem with plates wanting to warp, so we probably discarded as many as we ended up with. But we couldn't use a mold, so we had to do it this way. It simply involved rolling it out to a certain thickness. Usually thicker than it was actually going to be because of shrinkage. And then the clay was simply used the coil method, where we slipped coils of clay together, It's a slow way of doing it, but it's the strongest way. And I think that's the way it would have been done back in the 1800s. And then inside, we smoothed the inside of the clay out to ensure that it didn't leak. This is very important that we didn't want someone to be at the play eating and their bowl is leaking. We did have a couple leak, but it could have been worse. We used a slip, which is just a wet clay, to kind of help stick pieces of clay together. We used a clear glaze on the stoneware. I didn't know exactly what they would look like, but I think that they would have simply been clear. We had an advantage over the potters of the 1840s. We had an electric kiln. And the kiln is basically the oven. It required about 7 to 8 hours of cooking in each batch of stoneware. They'd sit overnight and then they'd remove the next day. And as the greenware dried, we would keep loading it. It's pretty neat, and I think the kids have learned a great deal from it.
Genius! They not so loud that they waste the best. Bats come flying and screeching like demons in the night. Jay run to the big green house saying, "Save me! Save me! Save me!" Then, whoa! Big old bear rise and roar above him big good. Check run at that K to the slave hunters, the old bastard, and his dog.
One of the most interesting aspects of the residency was that the children were learning to improve their writing skills at the same time producing a product that required some research so it would be accurate from the historical point of view. Historical fiction is an interesting genre that kids need to know about, and this gave them a chance to do something that was entertaining and at the same time improve their writing and research skills. The same could be said about the quilt residency. To learn about the symbols of the Underground Railroad, some history of quilting was very beneficial to them, as well as the art of actually making the quilt itself. So all the residencies pulled together the arts and academics in a way that could not be done without the benefit of the artists being involved with the students.
The City of Hope has reason to celebrate. A 2-year community-wide project has come to fruition.
Yes, it's wonderful. I am so glad for this to be happening.
At the Arts Council, we're really excited about this project of O Freedom. It's a very unique project to the Arts Council. We have had community theater before where we've had many people in the community be part of a theater production, but this one is unique in that it involves so many organizations, children, from the very conception of the play to getting the set pieces, to building the set, to performing the play, and to even watching the play. So this is quite unique from the others that we've had. And the Town of Hope loves community theater, so this has been even more exciting because we have just included everyone in this from the get-go. And so we're just so excited about this play.
The excitement spread to Hope natives everywhere. Governor Mike Huckabee invited participants to the state capitol to see the script, quilt, and pottery. From the White House, President Bill Clinton graciously commended this effort in unity from the place of his birth. As opening night neared, after years of writing and residencies and weeks of rehearsals, cast and crew were honored at the dress rehearsal by the presence of the student playwrights.
Jay, we
I've done him, I'll follow. Catch him by nightfall. Stay in the water.
I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Everybody loves the play. I mean, I hear comments from the community and everything. Everybody loves this play. Everybody. And everybody's calling me for tickets.
That's not where they are.
Well, this is Retha's friends.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm the Reverend Bates of the First Presbyterian Church in Little Rock. Before we begin our evening's dinner and entertainment, I'll ask you to join me in our invocation. Would you bow, please?
One bowl. One bowl.
One bowl?
One.
Okay.
I didn't know they prayed every night. I didn't know they prayed every night.
Oh, yes.
Good evening, ladies. How fare thee? Well, certainly glad that you enjoyed yourselves.
Here, Daddy, you wasn't leaving, you leaving me.
Sweet on the tongue and easy on the gums. Let me get a read here.
I don't think I can get behind you. I'm sorry. You have to do it this way.
Very well, thank you. My name is Amy. If you need anything, just let me know.
Please, this is Mr. Master Warren.
They
are all the way from Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, that's wonderful. You need a guest of Dr. Trotter. My name is Anna. If you need anything tonight, just let me know, yeah?
All right. By the way, have you seen Dr. Trotter?
No, he's mighty late. Not like him to leave his guests waiting like this.
What kind of fuss he does a dinner party and doesn't show up? That bees at Dr. Trotter. Well.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can see this gal's worth $2,000. I am not settling for less. I will take her down to New Orleans myself first.
Be ashamed to waste a pretty filly like that on a farm. Burn her up in the hot sun? Why, she'll be ugly before her time.
Let's have a closer look at her. Have you ever been whipped? Let's have a look.
Stop that. This is not the auction block. There are ladies present, my wife included. I know this child. I'll vouch for the fact that she has no scars. She's never been beaten. I swear to it on my Bible.
Your Bible? Come on, Reverend. We all read in the New Orleans Bulletin that a pack of cards is an Arkansas Bible.
Ladies and gents, we now begin the auctioning session.
Tonight we'll be auctioning off 8 dish sets that consist of a plate, a saucer, and a glass, all of which you were eating out of tonight. Right. These were made by students from Hope High. They're handmade.
Yes.
And they're a limited few, so don't let it pass you by.
Tailor-made plates, come on. 26.10. 26 and 76. $26. 10.
Do I hear a higher bid than $10? 15.
I'm standing right over here.
Do I hear a higher bid than $15? $20. There's competition in the house tonight. Is there a higher bid than $20? Do I hear 22 maybe?
25.
25.
25 10 cents.
$30. Right here, high bid $30. The standing bid is $30. $32.50.
Our 38-member cast ranges in age from 6 up into some elderly people are involved in it as well. And the dynamics of watching these people, young and old, black and white, work together towards making this happen has been very, very, very wonderful.
Hey, it's Jake. Jake's about to enter the rowdiest room in this hotel, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Well, my thesis, my honors thesis from college was on African American history. So if nothing else, I've learned the emotional side. Having to portray it, it gives you this emotional high. And afterwards, I mean, in 45 minutes, I have to experience everything that an African American slave experienced in 45 minutes. I have to be happy, sad, mournful, angry, stressed out, confused, and frustrated all at the same time. So if nothing else, I'm so emotionally drained by the end of it. And I feel the emotional side that they went through. Because reading the books, you feel it, you understand it, you memorize it, and you learn it, and you say, this has happened this date, but it's nothing until you have to become it. And I think, if nothing else, that's what I take with me, the emotional side that they had, or that they had to have at all times.
Hope's mean stepmother, the minute the father died, I mean, she wanted to get rid of her. But as long as the father was alive, because it was his child, she was willing to help raise the child. But as soon as the father died, she was ready to sell her as a slave. So, I mean, deep down, we all know that that was her true feelings from the beginning. But because Hope was her husband's daughter, she was willing to accept it as long as her husband was alive. But we, as the black community, we were willing to take Hope in and raise her as one of our own, take care of her as one of our own.
I could not get to your papa, but I could at least get to a part of him. The greatest pleasure of my life has been ripping to shreds the dream that he had for his and that slave's child.
Mother, I've almost grown to hate you.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like when you walk on a stage, and as soon as you walk out, you look into the audience and you see this young man crying, bawling his eyes out. You haven't said a word, just from the attitude, the atmosphere that's already set. To see their eyes glued on you, and you can see it, you can feel it. You can feel it throughout the room. That before you even say a word, the scene has already been set for you. So you can feel the pressure, the atmosphere. Everything is set. Everything is there. And the audience is the people who pull it off. I can give it to you, but they're the ones that take it and eat it and become that. And that's what I love about it.
Last time we saw you, you be leading slave owners away. We're anxious for that. Now, you wouldn't be bringing them back to us now, would you?
No. This is Henry. He's an abolitionist.
Who?
He leads slaves through the Underground Railroad.
Have any of you ever heard of the Underground Railroad? Well, it's not underground, and it's not a railroad, but it is a way for slaves to get north to freedom.
How far north?
All the way to Canada.
Can anyone go?
Yes, but it's a long way. It's a lot of walking and hiding.
We've been doing that for a long time.
Yes, but this is clear across the United States.
How long did it take?
A year with luck. Sometimes you'll ride on a railroad, or a wagon or cart, or a fancy carriage. Sometimes on a horse, sometimes on a boat. But most of the time, you'll walk.
I think everyone in the cast has gained an increased understanding of how to treat one another with respect, how to exercise sensitivity towards one another, and also how to take pride in working together.
Hurry!
Which way?
Follow the drinking gourd, north to freedom.
Oh, child, how sweet it be. They running on the edge of freedom.
Don't cry.
Follow, 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 follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd.
For the young man is waiting for to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. When the sun comes back and the first well calls, follow the drinking gourd. For the young man is waiting for to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. Follow, 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 follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd.
Soon I will be done with the trouble of this world. I'm going home to live with God. No more weeping and wailing, no more. No more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing. I'm going home to live with God. I want to meet my Jesus. I want, oh Lord, to meet my Jesus. I want to meet my Jesus. I'm going home to live with God.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping to my Lord.